Welcome to yet another session of Nation Watch. Today I am going to talk about something which has not been discussed in any of the mainstream media, either in website nor in the YouTubers, but it is a great problem which is going to be blown out for the United States. Problem may snowball into a bigger one and then make a very big embarrassing situation for the US. It is about the gold reserves deposited by many countries into the US Fed. So let me give you a brief of history. When the Second World War was waging, many European countries feared that their gold may be stolen by the Germany when their army was advancing into the western side of the Europe. So they are transferred their gold deposit to US and it was deposited in the US Federal Reserve. So tons and tons of gold were deposited with US Federal Reserve. Germany alone has deposited somewhere around 1,500 tons. That's what some websites say. None of the gold deposited in the Federal Reserve belongs to the Federal Reserve, but the gold from various countries, including the US, have been deposited into the Federal Reserve deposit. It doesn't charge any money for keeping the gold there, but it charges some small money while depositing and withdrawing. Apart from that, doesn't charge the countries who are deposited the gold for the safekeeping. But what has recently happened? Recently, maybe in the last decade, what has happened is Germany wanted some of its gold back. So, but what US Federal Reserve told is no, we cannot give you immediately. We can give you only in 2020. So the request was made somewhere around 2014, but the US Fed said it will give you only 2014. Why such a delay? As per the website of US Federal Reserve, the gold is not fungible. It means what fungible means that whatever depositor gives the gold, the same gold has to be returned, not some other gold or gold from some other country. So whatever the depositor gives, the same thing has to be saved in a separate compartment and the same thing has to be returned. That is the promise given by the Federal Reserve. But what happened to Germany is a entirely different thing. Germany received 50% of the gold back into Germany only 4 or 5 years later. That too not the same gold but some other gold melted and recast gold. Or where no one knows whether they are melted recast German gold or some other gold. There is no idea. And the German wanted to visit and inspect the gold deposited into the Federal Reserve, but the Federal Reserve refused the request, but it has shown only one sample piece of gold, but the German government does not know whether its gold is safe in the US Fed. Similarly, the Austria also want to have its gold back, but no one knows whether the gold is safe in this one. Even countries like Afghanistan has deposited more than 20 tons of gold into US Fed. Why? But Afghanistan deposited during the year 1930s or 1913s. I am not sure, but I didn't remember the exact date. Either it is 1913 or 1930. So long back, maybe I looks like the Afghanistan government totally forgot the gold it has deposited in the year. Otherwise, with the current political climate, Afghanistan would like to keep the gold in the US Fed. But no one knows whether that gold is safe. But as per some report, that Afghanistan gold has been developed some cracks or some deformation, something like that. I don't know how it's possible to have such deformities in a pure gold. For some information, the pure gold, none of the gold bars is 100% pure because 100% pure gold cannot be saved or molded into bars or biscuits because it will become very soft metal and then it will lose its shape. So some minute percentage of copper or some other material has been alloyed or mixed into the pure gold to make it a stable gold bar. So this is some information about the gold bar. So currently US treasury has become almost empty and it has to borrow money from external sources to keep paying for the bills to run the government. That means to pay salaries for the government employees, US government has to borrow money from some external or internal sources. That is the situation of the US government. Currently, US is financially very, very weak. It was about to default, but somehow the Congress decided to cancel the borrowing limit of the US government. But still, the country is in a bad shape. In that is the condition, how many countries will believe that it is safe to keep the gold safe in the US Treasury deposits? Many countries will think that it is unsafe to keep the gold in the US because the US is economically very weak, so it may misuse the gold being deposited. Already rumors are afloat in the internet or various websites that the Federal Reserve might have melted or mortgaged or sold the golds deposited by various countries. So it may not have the gold it is supposed to be have in the reserve. So such rumors and messages are available in the internet. Many countries asking the Federal Reserve to return the gold, it has to return. If any delay or any refusal return will be reflect very badly on the image of the US, and then it will economically further weaken the US. So this is a developing story. Let us wait for any more news in this area. Till then, see you. Tata. Bye bye.